We're here in Barcelona, España, at the launch of the all-new Cupra Born. It's Cupra's very first fully electric car, and it's based off the same platform as the ID.3. It looks absolutely fabulous, drives really nicely. It's got plenty of range, plenty of pickup when you put your foot down. And did I mention, it's an absolute cracker when it comes to appearance. You're watching Done Deal. Today we're in Spain and we're going to be reviewing the all-new Cupra Born. So make sure to subscribe, hit the link up there if you're searching for a new car for sale in Ireland. We've got over 1,000 trusted dealerships nationwide. Now let's get into the review. Okay, so before we go and take it out for a drive, let's talk about some of the highlights. So first up, it's going to be available with 3 different battery packs. The largest one will have a range of 540 kilometers. On top of that, it actually comes with an eBoost performance pack, and that's going to give you 227 brake horsepower, and that goes to the rear wheels, and there will be an option to turn off that traction control. On top of that, prices in Ireland are going to start at about 39,000 euros. Now that does exclude delivery charges, but it does also exclude the grant. So it's going to be very competitive on the market. It's going to be in Ireland hopefully in early March. So the all important question, how does it drive? Well, the truth be told is it drives very similarly to the ID.3. However, you definitely get the impression that you're in something a little bit more special, and that's nothing against the ID.3, it's just the facts of the matter. So the seats are extremely comfortable. You can completely adjust them just however you like. The steering wheel in front of you is gorgeous. You've got these drive selector modes here that definitely instill a little bit of enthusiasm in you as you're driving along. The gear selector, it's the same as that ID.3. It's really interesting the way you put it in and out of gear, twisting that knob. You get very used to it. It's actually really handy. You have some regenerative braking, so you can put it in B mode, and what that does is as you put your foot or take your foot off the accelerator, it begins to slow down. So you're almost in one pedal driving, and that is delightful to drive. Now, right now we're on a motorway. I can set my cruise control. It's adaptive, so it will speed up and slow down along with the car in front of me, and it also will actually kind of keep me in lane, so it starts to correct me there. And you can't see this, but I've got a digital display up ahead, and that's saying, Dave, get back in your lane. Then as you drive around town, it tends to just waft around the place. So up here we have a big speed bump, and it just kind of glides over it in a very elegant manner. Driving is one thing. However, let's open up that bonnet and see what's powering the Cupra Born. The batteries are actually placed pretty strategically underneath the car to keep that center of gravity lower. I think it actually has about a 40 centimeter lower center of gravity than an equivalent petrol or diesel car. So it is very planted. Now, in terms of battery powers, because at the end of the day, the battery capacity is going to affect how long you can drive. So there's 3 options. The first is a 45 kilowatt hour battery. The second is a 58, and then there's a 77. Now, the smallest one, that'll give you a range of about 350 kilometers. Then you make it all the way up to the bigger 77 kilowatt hour one. Well, that one's going to give you a range of over 540 kilometers. So real world driving, you will actually achieve over 500, which is pretty good. Now, I'd say the most popular seller in Ireland's probably going to be that 58 kilowatt hour battery. It's really good, and in terms of power, it's going to have plenty. And you will of course be able to get the eBoost pack, which will pump up your brake horsepower that little bit more. That extra power brings the Cupra up to 227 brake horsepower. Now, Let's have an enthusiastic drive on some lovely Spanish roads. So there's a 50-50 weight distribution. As you put your foot down, you can really feel that. So the electric motor is under the rear seats, but the batteries are all on the floor, and they're specifically placed so that the car has that 50-50 weight distribution. The wheels are in all four corners, which really makes it planted to the road. As you put your foot down, even throughout a corner, it is glued. Now, if you get the slightly wider rear tires, you get the option to turn off all traction control. And then you've got a rear wheel drive, 310 Newton meter torque car. That's a recipe for a lot of fun. Although if you're not careful, the Cupra Born could become the Cupra Dead, because I'm no doubt in the rain that will get very twitchy. But it's really enjoyable. One sort of downfall that I keep doing, and it's the same with all of these kind of haptic buttons here on the steering wheel, is sometimes when you're going into a corner, you can push down almost to grip the steering wheel a little bit more, and you can change the radio station or something like that. But it's glorious. It's brilliant to drive. There, I took that a little bit faster, and it definitely was a little bit more shuddery than when you're in your usual modes, cruising along the roads. Now, in terms of styling, well, once again, Cupra have thrown the ball up and knocked it out of the park. So with the Formentor, I've never driven a car where more people turn and look at it and ask you, what is that? And they're so intrigued by it. And I think the Born has hit that nail again. So big features are these two creases down here. I really like the fact that the Cupra is nice and subtly put in there. There is then this copper front splitter, which looks absolutely brilliant. And I actually think the phrase the Cupra use is that electric can still be sexy and fun. And from the front, I have to say, it is definitely sexy. The side profile doesn't differ all that much from the ID3. In fact, you see a lot of the ID3 in it. The front windscreen is almost over the front wheels, and like the ID3, all four wheels are pushed in to the corners, which help the handling quite a lot. These wheels are actually available in 18, 19 and 20 inch. The only other big difference here you'll notice is there's this swooping aerodynamic line, which looks very good. And then this here really stems ID3 and shouts ID3 to me. But then again, from the rear, you can see the boot is over that rear wheel. And another thing to notice is that the front line swoops down, and that's to kind of give it a bit of attitude and a bit of aggression. This is the Cupra angle. I would definitely be driving it forward into any parking spots, because from the rear you've got a lovely long rear spoiler. You've got the coast-to-coast rear lights, which this all illuminates up at night and looks absolutely brilliant. The Cupra logo in the copper, and the diffuser down here is impeccable. Generally, diffusers only really look good when there's some nice big exhaust. However, Cupra have done a good job of the rear. The interior layout of the Cupra Born, well, it's a Cupra, so you get this really nice steering wheel. It feels very nice in your hands. Small drawback is it comes with these haptic touch buttons here, so whether that's changing your cruise control or your music or anything like that. I'm not a massive fan. I prefer the old-fashioned buttons on a steering wheel, but we'll let that slide. You get a small little display here, and the overall layout, so it's designed to be built around the driver, so you kind of feel like you're in a little cockpit, and that really adds to the driving experience. Also, these seats, they're absolutely stunning, and I think Cupra are really producing some of the nicest seats on the market right now. And actually the fabric used in these, it's really interesting. So they come from the local area where the Cupra's actually designed. So out on the ocean, the fishermen collect up all the rubbish, and it becomes, in scientific ways, it becomes a renewable source of fabric. It means that it creates this really nice textured finish, and actually you can get it in loads of different types. I was in another car earlier and it had a slightly different finish. Both really, really nice. This 12-inch display here, this is the same that we see on all of the kind of Cupras and Seats and anything new coming to the market now. It's been known to be glitchy, truth be told. Earlier on today I was in a perfect one, it worked fantastically. This one actually has a few problems. Apple CarPlay is not connecting to it. These will all be resolved down the line, but it's just worth mentioning. And overall in here the layout is nice. You've got some drink holders here, phone storage. The overall feeling in here is absolutely gorgeous too. So yeah, it's a nice interior. So there you have it. That is DoneDeal's first drive review of the Cupra Born. It has been a fabulous day driving on some glorious Spanish roads. We've had a lot of fun. So if you did enjoy the review, please make sure to leave us a comment with any feedback. Give the video a thumbs up and of course subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you are on the hunt for a new car, then make sure to hit the link up there and check out some of the cars for sale on DoneDeal. We've got over 1,000 trusted dealerships nationwide, which means you can buy in a trusted and secure manner. But for now, that's all from me. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.